Hello, welcome everybody to today's practice. Welcome to coffee yoga, tea yoga, whatever you have in your cup. We'll go with coffee yoga for today because I'm drinking coffee. Thank God. So let's start our timer for today's practice so we know that it's not more than half an hour. So you can let go of time. You don't need to worry about that now. I will make sure that this practice doesn't go longer than half an hour. Everything that I planned to teach today feels like it has changed the second I turned the camera on. Interestingly, I've been trying new ways of improving these videos in terms of the footage and the lighting and the audio, and every time I try to do something to make it better, I just end up wasting my time and not teaching yoga, which is what I'm really here for. So if you can't hear me, or there's something wrong with the video, or there's background noise, please write to me. So my website is www.translatereality.com. It's linked in the bottom of the YouTube description. But please feel free to reach out anytime or put it in a comment. I don't know, anywhere. I'll find it. I really appreciate feedback. I just want to improve things so that I can help you and help everybody that chooses to do yoga or meditate together with me. And yeah, so don't be afraid to send me your feedback. It's more than welcomed. So let's take a minute to take a deep breath and congratulate ourselves for making it to our mat. You did so well. You are here. You're sitting down. You have the video on. You're doing yoga. You're doing yoga right now. You did it. Take a sip of your coffee. You did yoga. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Soften your shoulders as you breathe out and just sit in a comfortable pose. Don't worry about anything that distracts you as best you can. There's so many distractions, including our own thoughts, and you can give your mind permission to let go of those distractions for now, because sometimes the mind needs to know that you will make space to let it go later. It's like a toddler. You have to redirect the mind all the time, gently bringing it back, come back, come back. And sometimes the mind just needs some reassurance that you're there and you're willing to hear these thoughts for the 357,000th time, but you're just taking a pause, making some space. Exhale, just making some space. Sometimes when we try to make things too perfect, we end up ruining the journey for ourselves. So for today's practice, know that everything you're doing is right. I mean, really, when it comes to yoga, there's no right and wrong. Obviously, I am a depiction of that since I'm encouraging you to drink yoga on your yoga mat. Clearly, I believe there's no right and wrong, but perhaps I did 20 years ago. And actually, speaking of 20 years ago, that's about the time I started at my meditation school. So we're going to do some yoga today that's mostly based from Child's Pose. So Child's Pose is a great pose, especially to do if you're just warming the body up, because it's comfortable and healthy and not too difficult, and you can work a lot from there. So I have one of these half moon cushions that I sit on often. I've said this in a couple of my videos, I think, but you don't want any pressure or pulling in the knees when we're sitting and doing yoga, because there's no knee openers in yoga. I did a knee opener recently on a really poorly timed roundhouse kick, and I still have to sit on a cushion from that one. So we're not opening anything on our knees, so no pain, no sensation. Don't do that. If your knees, you can put something under your knees, or these cushions are designed for meditation. I bought this at my school, and they lift your hips a little bit above your knees. So when your hips are above your knees, your legs won't fall asleep as easily. Typically not, though. So as long as you are sitting on something that lifts your hip above your knees or holds onto your knees if you need to, that's fine too. But we want to aim to get our hips above our knees so that when we sit, our legs don't go numb. There's still a lot of blood flow happening. Whew, that's a lot for today. Coffee. Sometimes when I take a sip of coffee, I feel like I need to get rid of it very, very quickly. But we don't. Okay, let's get ready to move the body. Keep your space dark and quiet if you can, as best you can, so that your inner world is quiet too. So roll over onto your hands and knees, or you can just, bring the knees up, shake them out a little bit if you're sitting for a while, point, flex, all that, move the feet around. I was a gymnast for a long time, so my toes are on auto point. It just never goes away, which I'm fine with. So we're gonna come into child's pose. Child's pose, your big toes are touching. You're sitting back on your heels. Your knees are slightly separated and reaching forward and letting the chest come to the ground. Modifications for child's pose, so many. And if you make one up right now and it feels good, then that's your modification. You can lay on a pillow. If your knees hurt, like my roundhouse kick knee, you can bring a pillow or a blanket and put it behind your knees. So sitting on top of something. I know it's a little bit hard to see my face right now, but that doesn't matter because my face is not involved in yoga. Okay, you can sit like that. And you can also put something, this cushion is a little bit big for it, but another comfortable position is you put something right between your legs. So if you've never sat down and tried child's pose like this, I definitely encourage you to, because it's extremely comfortable. It's also extremely comfortable just to sit like this. So if you are doing a sitting meditation and cross-legged doesn't feel good for you, this is a good option. So half mode is great. So using whatever you need, whatever prop you need, that's just a tool that you can find in your house. Reaching forward, and let's just take a few deep breaths with your fingers stretched forward nice and far. Have your hands outstretched. Let your chest sink toward your mat. Put your forehead on your mat if you can. Let as much of your torso sink down between your legs toward the mat as you can. Forehead down. Reach the tailbone toward the back of the room. As you reach your fingertips towards the front of the room, and here's the fun part, your shoulder blades come down the back. So you're reaching your fingertips forward as your shoulder blades pull back down your spine, and you reach your tailbone to the back of the room. And breathing here. So you should feel space between your shoulders and your neck. If you can't, pull the shoulder blades back just a bit more. See if you can make some space between your shoulders and your neck. Keep your fingertips stretched. One more deep breath here. Exhale, let yourself sink down a little lower if you can. And let's walk our hands over to the left. Try to make the biggest circle you can with your fingertips. So reach, you can let the shoulder blades come up now. Reach as far as you can. keeping the right hip down. So if you notice that you're lifting up and reaching over, keep your tailbone down toward the mat so that you're not lifting up, and just coming over as far as you can until you feel a sensation in the side body. So down the right side of your body, reach the right arm toward the side of your mat. You should feel it under the arms, perhaps in the ribs and the legs, and let your chest sink down toward the mat. Head toward the mat. Shoulder blades are back, sinking down the back, and fingers spread. Breathe here through the whole body. See if you can move your hips around just slightly. Where is the sensation? And when you do find sensation in your body, see if you can move toward it instead of away from it. Almost as if you're looking for it. Walk your hands all the way back through center, over to the right side. Stay low, big circle, reach, 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 reach. Now you should feel a sensation, big stretch in the left side body. Reach the left hand. Spread the fingertips, let your chest sink down. And same thing as you take deep breaths in, deep breaths out. See if you can move your hips just a little bit, noticing where sensation increases, where it decreases. Maybe you can perceive enough to find the end of the sensation in your body. So there's a place where you don't feel it anymore. And then there's a place where it starts, a very subtle feeling, until it becomes enough that you notice, or too much, which is pain. Back to center. Let's just walk our hands up. And we'll come to tabletop pose. Round the back. Push up, pull the belly in. And then on an inhale, lift your tailbone and your chest, crown of the head toward the ceiling. Cat-cow breathing for just a few rounds. Exhales, you're rounding. Inhales, drop the belly toward the earth. Lift the chin, open up the front of the neck, spine, and then on your exhale, round again. 2 more. Just getting 3. And cross your legs behind you. Come to a comfortable seating position on your mat. We're not done, but we need a break. You can take your coffee. Relax your body, just comfortable sitting pose. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 1 more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Coffee time. Coffee and yoga are so awesome. All right, coffee's down. We're gonna come back into child's pose now. Actually, we're gonna go back to our tabletop pose. We shall return to child's pose in a moment. So your fingers are spread wide in tabletop pose. You have a flat spine as best you can, and your feet are slightly separated. So you're not sinking down. You're kind of pulling your low belly in and up toward the spine so you can stay in a strong tabletop pose. So you're pushing the ground away from you. So as you lift your left leg back, and again, we can modify this in any way we want. Left leg is going to come back, flexed foot. So see my left leg. So we're not going to bring it up, up, up as high as we can. And we're also not going to turn it out. Okay, flexed, and heel is reaching toward the back of the room, like I'm trying to stand on the back wall, like you're trying to stand on the back wall. As you inhale and you lift your left leg back, you can lift your right arm up, reaching the right fingertips toward the front of the room. Okay, and again, when we're doing this portion of it, we're not lifting way, way, way up. You're trying to form a straight line with the body. So opposite hand to leg. You can just do the legs, you can just do the arms, or you can just do the breath. All of it is perfect. So when you're ready, I'll start with my left leg and my right arm. Inhale, exhale, back down, and switch. Inhale, exhale, back down. I'm just gonna take down this rocking chair behind me. Inhale, exhale. I shouldn't have used the word takedown while I was teaching yoga. Just disregard that. Inhale, big reach. Heel toward the back of your room, fingertips toward the front of your room. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, left leg back, heel reaching, fingertips reaching to the front, and back down. Push against the earth, keep the low belly pulled in. Last one. Reach the leg back, heel stretches toward the back of the room, fingertips stretch toward the front of the room, push against the earth, and back down. Separate the knees slightly, come into child's pose. Just soften here and take a few breaths. Almost there. Roll the body back and forth. Put your forehead down on the ground and roll your forehead back and forth. Try to ask your body what version of child's pose feels the best for you right now. Cross your arms, rest your head on them. Rest your head down, rest your head on a mat, on a cushion, on your pillow, on your pet. Few more breaths here. And on your next inhale, roll your body back up to tabletop pose one more time. So we're going to come into a pose that feels weird, but is good for you. So it may take a little while for you to get into the full version of the pose. And if you fall out, that's okay. You just put your foot down. And so with this class, Coffee Yoga, we're not aiming to achieve any kind of massive yoga. You know, there was a time when I did yoga to do harder and harder poses. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's what motivates some people. All people are motivated by things, but this in Coffee Yoga is not where you're going to learn Ekapada Kundanyasana. Maybe one day I'll teach Ekapada Kundanyasana because I will be that energized in the morning. But in this series, or the yoga series, Coffee Yoga series, we'll do a little bit of work that brings energy into the body, but everything should be accessible. Everything should be within reach as long as you do modifications. So this is our goal. We are not trying to reach a finish line. We are just trying to breathe. So this pose, we're going to come into a plank, fingers spread wide, and the thumbs are going to come into the third eye point, right between, in the center of the forehead, between the eyes. So first option is you can stay on your knees. You can bring your head down to your fingertips. You can come back down to child's pose. If you want to keep going from here, left leg goes back, toes go down, you're pressing your heel toward the back, and we're going to go into a plank pose. If this is okay for you, you can lift your right toe, right leg, put your toes on the top of your left heel. So everything should be in one line. Forehead comes to the thumbs. Press into the ground, keep breathing. Don't forget your exhales. Shoulder blades come down the back. Your forehead is just gently touching your thumbs, fingers spread wide. Keeping the body as straight as possible. So pull your low belly in, we're almost there. You can lower down anytime. And drop the right toe to the ground. Bend the knees, palms to the earth, push back to child's pose. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Roll your head back and forth in child's pose again. Relax the body, notice the breath. If your breath has increased in pace, don't try to control it. Just try to notice it, like you are just the watcher. And let's come forward, so we'll do the other leg. Same thing, you can stay in tabletop pose, spread the fingers wide, forehead comes down so the third eye point is touching the thumbs. Right foot goes back, heel presses toward the back of the room. We're coming into a plank. You can stay here, pull the low belly in and up, or lift the left toes, put them on top of the right heel, and hook them there. Pull quads up toward the body so the legs are straight. Push into the mat so we're not lifting away from our third eye or the center of our forehead, but we're still pushing away on the mat so that we're not sinking into it. So there's a lifting happening as you're breathing. Try to breathe through your whole body. Notice that there's difficulty, there's sensation, whatever's arising, just notice it and use it as a distress tolerance exercise, because you are safe. You are absolutely safe here with me doing coffee yoga. One more breath in. You got it. Breath out. Come down. Back to home base, child's pose. This time, if you want, you can bring your hands down so that the palms of the hands are up and your hands are back towards your feet. Put your knees just on the top of your shoulders, and as you roll your forehead back and forth, you can use your knees to give your shoulders a little massage. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Your breathing is your anchor. Relax your arms. Let your shoulders and your knees come together for just a few more breaths. And we're going to come back to tabletop pose and do it all again. Just kidding. Turn your legs toward the front of the room. Come to a comfortable easy pose. So if you have a little cushion or a half moon that you'd like to sit on, please go ahead and do that. So before we finish up for today, we'll just inhale, bring our arms all the way up, big circle with the arms. Clasp the fingers, flip them upside down so that they're like this, palms up, and lift the palms up towards your ceiling. Shoulders come up, tallest version of yourself you can be, long spine. Deep breath in, and on your exhale, bring them down nice and slow. Biggest circle you can make around yourself possible. Let your shoulders come down your back. Let your belly soften. Let your hands come slow. Breathe. Slow. You have time and space. Slow. and all the way down to the ground. Tip your head over to the left side, feeling gentle opening on the right side of the neck and shoulders. Remember, no pain. Roll the head down, chin towards your sternum. Let your head be soft. And roll up to the right, opening up the left side of the neck and shoulder. Deep breath in, sit tall. Deep breath out, hands to your knees. Notice your breath in your body and where you feel yourself breathing. Maybe your nose, you can feel air coming in and out. Your throat, your chest, your belly. Where do you feel your breath most easily? Take your time. As you finish your practice today, get up slowly and keep moving toward comfort if you can. And if you come up against sensation in life, which could be barriers, challenges, problems, people, anything, remember you have your breath with you. The tool that you worked on and worked with most today is always with you. And the more you work with your breath, the better it will serve you. Coffee rocks. Thank you so much for coming to Coffee Yoga today. I appreciate it so much, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.